Record this and we're going to get straight into tonight. And let's start by sharing the screen, shall we? All right, okay. Where are we at? All right, is everybody ready for death by PowerPoint? That's not going to happen. That's not how I roll. I want you guys to feel comfortable. I want you guys to feel relaxed. It is Sunday night. I'm mindful of everyone's time. I've already said I'm grateful for it. We've got 100 people on this webinar, which means these products and this business obviously are doing something worldwide, because there's 100 people on this webinar now and there's more trying to get on. So with that in mind, let's push forward. What I want you to think about tonight, if you are someone who works in our industry, is this. What if no matter your skills, your experience, your knowledge and credentials, you can learn something new tonight? I really want you to be open and receptive, and also to enjoy the presentation. And that goes from myself, and it goes from also the people who are going to be sharing and helping out in tonight's presentation. Tonight we are going to be talking about this unbelievable company of products and business model, Isagenix. So if you have or haven't heard of what we are and what we do, we're going to go through that tonight. We're going to explain exactly what happens with these products and also the business model. And at the end of it, the person who invited you onto this webinar, you can get back to them on the phone and have a chat with them. And if it's something that you're interested in doing, then please feel free to come and join us. We're a culture of healthy, happy, positive people. And if that sounds like something you want to be involved with, then this is going to be for you. And before we do go into it tonight, one of the most important things is what we do differently with Isagenix is integrity is one of our key values. And this is one of my own personal values. And that's why I'm aligned with a company that holds this very high. So everything that you're about to read tonight, whether it's about weight loss, you know, we are not trying to say, take these products and you're going to go from X to Y overnight. You know, there is no one-size-fits-all method. It all depends on who you are, where you're at in your life, the effort that you put in, etc., etc. And it also goes in for the earnings disclosure of people. Some people want to share these products and get their products for free. Other people want to go, I ain't going to go and work for nobody. I'm going to do this full-time. I'm just going to live my life traveling around the world and just owning it like a boss. So that's just that disclosure I want to go through tonight. I want you guys to really ingrain this into you right now, because I don't know what your own personal vision is in the industry. If you are someone who works in our fitness industry, but the vision of Isagenix is to impact world health and free people from physical and financial pain, and in the process create the largest health and wellness company in the world. Now, the statement is so big and bold. And when I first read it, it was kind of like, yeah. You know, a lot of Yanks have sat in the office and put this together and blah, 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 blah. And we've got some big, impactful statement. Then when I watched this company slowly move through the world and start to build and seeing what they were doing for people in their lives, I was like, man, they are actually going to do this. And then with last year penetrating into Europe, the UK hit Netherlands now, Ireland. It's like, you know what? This is actually going to happen. So if you don't already have a vision and you want to be a part of something, then please, please join our vision, because this is happening and it is awesome to be a part of. So before, just went through a bit briefly about who I was. My name is Si Bennett. I'm 33 years old. I am a Birmingham boy, born and raised. At the age of 17, I left school. I'd done GCSE PE. I'd always had a passion of fitness. My mom was a PE teacher growing up. I left school and I just didn't know what to do. I hated school, to be honest with you, and I didn't want to go into university. So my parents said to me, well, you know, go and get yourself a trade. I became an electrician. I didn't mind it. It was paying bills. I hit 21 and I was at a crossroads, and I thought, I looked at people who are electricians in their 40s, and that isn't really something that's going to serve me for the rest of my life. Maybe I can do something different. And my brother said to me, why don't you get on a plane and go and have a gap year, go and see what you want to do, go to Australia. So I did that. I went to Australia in 2005, and I quickly fell in love with the lifestyle. Having someone who's always valued their health and being active, I looked at the Aussie lifestyle, the northern beaches of Sydney, and it was awesome. People were running, surfing, healthy, eating, good foods, and I just sat at home with it. I came back in 2006. I went straight back, and then I started studying personal training. And I did all my qualifications out there, 2006 to 2008, did all my personal training qualifications. And then all the way through to 2012, I was working 2 jobs. And I don't know if any of you can relate to this. You work in fitness, you love what you do, you have a passion to help others, but it's just not lining the pockets as much as you'd like. You're just barely getting by. Well, that was me. So I kept working as a trainee as well. So I was effectively running 2 careers. By day, I was Sparky, and it was kind of like, Superman running into a phone box at night time, because I would just be going through the motions at work, dressed as a tradesman, pulling wires, doing the things that I needed to do. And then I used to get home, throw my work gear off, I'd put on my gym clothes, and I'd be in a gym, helping people, pouring passion and energy into people in the gym. And I knew that that was the person I was supposed to be, was my purpose. But the real hard thing was, doing 10 hours a week of PT, etc. I was basically just paying for my food at the end of the week, my beer money or whatever it might have been at the end of that week. It was just time me by. So in 2012, I left the electrical industry. I went full-time into fitness. 2013, I opened this gym. And this was called TriFit. We were an endurance performance fitness facility. Sounds really good. It was. We had a fantastic business model. The only problem was we just had too much competition. So for me, I was working 5 a.m. till 9 p.m. most days. And again, because it was my own business, all the money I was pouring back into my business, I was paying my staff, paying my coaches, paying my overheads, and leaving not a lot left for myself. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit more. But these are some of the things and the accolades that I've had and where I've been. I graduated as an Ironman coach in 2016. Always had a passion for triathlon. I was a competitive swimmer growing up. So I worked as an Ironman coach, and I trained a group of Ironmen and Ironwomen for a race here. Down in the middle, it was an A-grade cyclist I used to work with. The girl at the top in the middle there finished number 5 out of all the females with my coaching for the North Face 50-kilometre ultrathon marathon in the Blue Mountains of Sydney. We've got my mum crew on the top left-hand side there. These were super mums who used to run half marathons, and they're all there in their TriFit T-shirts. And then the top right-hand side, that was we had a cycling team as well. So, really kind of hitting that kind of like performance area of the industry rather than kind of like the weight loss or pre and post-natal. That's where I sat. And just to throw on that, this was the sort of volume that the people who I was coaching for the Ironman were doing. They were resting once a week on a Monday. They were riding a bike for an hour and a half. Then they were swimming and running on a Tuesday. They were doing a bike for 2 hours and then a gym session in the afternoon. The volume of workload these guys was doing was close to about 13 hours a week. And I had all my athletes using the products and the system that we're going to talk about tonight. And what I found was the best thing for not only these guys getting good performance results using our products and the system was the recovery. The fact that these people could train hard, go to bed, use our products, wake up the next day, and reduction of muscle soreness, sleep well, coming in, feeling good to go again. That was a big thing. And just the last few personal goals I've kicked, that was me racing last year in 2016 that was. 5 hours for a half Ironman, my first one, so I was pretty happy with that. And then last year in October, I moved back to the UK in June, and then I entered into my first ever fitness comp, and I won my class. I want to say on this slide here, I have used Isagenix for both endurance performance and also for fitness comp performance as well. They have been so good for me to use, and I've pushed them to the limits. But this is what my transformation looked like. Day one there was when I first said yes to Isagenix. And I want you to think about how long it will be before you say yes. Because I love talking to PTs and fitness people, because I was just like you. I had the barrier up. I had the ego. I was someone who was saying no, 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 no. And the guy who introduced me to Isagenix, he was one of my head trainers. He'd been using the system for 14 months. And after 14 months, that's where I was. I was really, really under the pump at work. I was very highly stressed. I was working long hours. And for a guy who owns a gym, I was in poor shape. And so I jumped on using Isagenix. Now, for someone who's used sports supplements and for the last decade, I kind of always got to a stage where I was like, look, it's just going to be another brand. It's just going to be another brand of potions and powders, etc., etc. But when I started getting the results I started getting, I needed to look more and look further into what these products were doing at a cellular level in my body. What was this system, which was a word that was being thrown around left, right, and center? Because you know what? I've had protein powders all the time. I've always had post-workout shakes. I've used pre-workouts. I've used branched-chain amino acids, intra-workouts. I've always used sports supplementation, but for some reason, when I started to use this system of products, I was getting a physiological change as well as a difference in how I was feeling. And with that, that's what kind of turned a light on inside of me to go, I need to look at this more. I need to see what is actually happening here. So that was my day one, and that was me after 4 months of using the products. I was in great shape. Now, I'm not just saying that I just took these products and that's what happened over 4 months. But what I am saying to you is I was training on the left-hand side as hard as I was when I was training on the right-hand side. The only difference was I was using this system of products that we're going to talk on tonight. I've always trained hard. Now, this is the market trends of the UK right now. And honestly, coming back from living on the northern beaches to seeing what people are putting into their mouths every day in the UK is nothing short of amazing. We are 58% of women and 68% overweight, BMI 25 and above. Now, if you do hit 30 as a BMI, I've got family members in that category. It's scary. You know, you are looking down the barrel of really serious health issues. Now, for us guys as PTs or strength coaches or gym owners or fitness professionals, it's easy for us to weigh food, to have scales, to be diligent with our nutritional intake time throughout the day. It's easy for us to motivate ourselves to go into a gym because our health is one of our highest values. And that is why we look the way we look. That is why we are compelled to do the things that we do. And that's why we work in this industry. You know, you would never sign up to a personal trainer that was unmotivated, didn't care about their health, overweight. That person just doesn't exist. So that's fine for us. But what about our clients? What about the people we're trying to help? What about controlling what those people do when they leave the gym? You know, if you train clients for 3 hours a week, they see you for 3 sessions, what about if you could just take a bit more control of what they're doing outside of the gym with what they're putting in their mouth? We all know that 80-20 rule, 80% nutrition, 20% what they're doing. What about if you could control a bit more of that outside of the gym? Then you would get better results with your clients. They would be happier. You know, they would be raving on about you as a trainer. You'll be ultimately caring for more than just training them, smashing them in a workout and taking them. So I just want you to think about that before we go into who I'm going to introduce to help me talk about these awesome products tonight. The solutions that we currently have in the UK as a new market are weight management. You know, we are working ourselves away from this whole weight loss, because the management of weight is something that we all need to think about throughout our whole lives. What we love with our products is that as people do lose body fat, lose visceral fat, they increase muscle mass. So it's not about looking at scales and the next day a dramatic reduction of that number. It is all about managing weight and health. And on the other side of the scale, which is obviously where I really like to use these products, is energy and performance. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. But I would love to introduce a very, very good friend of mine and a guy who, you know, really knows his shit when it comes to health and fitness. He's a guy with 3 degrees, and he's also someone who's been using this Isagenix system since 2013. Mr. Tin Nguyen, are you with us this evening?
Yeah, sorry, can you give me a quick thumbs up if you can hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear, buddy.
Okay, sweet. So My story of Isagenix is I came in just like everyone else, a skeptic. I finished a sports science degree. I finished a master's in OT. I was, I think, part way through my postgraduate in medicines, Australia, and everyone like I got approached by Peter Kelly about Isagenix, and I took a seat back and I was like, no, it's a scam. I'm already taking proteins, and I did my research, a crap ton of research on protein. So I thought I was taking the best thing ever. I was spending about $200 just purely on a protein tub. That's it. I was taking multivitamins, supplements, all that. However, that was the result on the left photo. I was a skinny little kid playing semi-professional basketball, being super lethargic. So I would nap constantly. Some days I would nap twice, and a nap for me would consist of half an hour to an hour. So I'm wasting so much time napping. And I thought that was my peak condition I could get into. So after being really skeptical, I thought, okay, what have I really got to lose? I jumped on board the system, and that was over 4.5 years ago. So Peter Kelly was a girl that I studied sports science with. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll take your word for it. After all this research that I've done, it might work. I wasn't 100% sure it would, but I think it might work. Anyway, now 4.5 years in, I'm no longer lethargic. I 100% believe in the products. It's changed my lifestyle. It's changed my life. I've gained 16 kilos, and now I have more energy. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I have more consistent energy to burn. Okay, it's always at a high level as opposed to going up, down, up, down, up, down. And if I had this when I was playing semi-pro basketball, like, I don't know, I would have taken my basketball career maybe further. So that's essentially my story. And then I'm going to go into a little bit about the science as well. Normally, I don't actually talk in this much detail about the science, but because I said this is a PT call, I'm going to talk in a little bit more detail. Can you jump on the next slide, buddy? Okay, so isolene shake. So this was what the first thing I looked at. So I was already taking a undenatured whey, and I thought, well, undenatured whey, I did my research. This is the highest level whey you can get. But why does this one work so well? So this undenatured whey, we're talking about lack of nutrients in food, and this is just something that fills in the gaps really well. It doesn't really matter if you're vegan, you're vegetarian, you're pescatarian, you're a meat eater, you're paleo, whatever you are, the isolene shake, if you have 2 a day, it's going to fill in the gaps really, really well for you, okay? So the undenatured whey is the highest grade available. It's a grade 7. So if you look at a grade 1, you're pretty much eating dog food, okay? So you can look at all the different grades. The reason it's a grade 7 or the highest grade, because it's cold processed. So a lot of the whey is actually heat treated. Once you heat treat something, all the branched chain amino acids, they shrink, okay? It's actually also got 97% bioavailability. The important thing about that is when you drink it, most of it is actually getting absorbed in the gut. You're not farting constantly and it stinks, and you're not essentially excreting it out. And everyone knows what I mean by excreting it out, okay? It's also got live enzymes in it. It's a live food. So when you pour water into it, you have to drink it within 15 minutes. So that's why the bioavailability is so high, because of the live enzymes, which increases the probiotics and the prebiotics they have in it to increase gut health. Also, there's vitamin and minerals as well. So that's why I say it is a complete meal replacement, but also a snack. But it's the best thing you're going to probably eat all day. The most, what's the word I'm looking for? Comprehensive meal you're going to eat all day in terms of fats, proteins, carbohydrates, sugars, because you do need sugar. Everyone says you don't need sugar. It is high. And then everything else as well, vitamins, minerals, BCAAs, everything. Okay.
I just want to also touch on that, Tim, is the whole wording of meal replacement. When you say that to someone who is in our industry, it can really get ruffle people's feathers. And when I was prepping for my comp and I was eating 7 meals a day, one of those meals was utilizing this. I look at as meal, when I eat, it's meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, meal 4. Every day I probably eat 4 to 5 meals a day normally. And so, when we are looking at meal replacement, we are basically saying that, what you would put on a plate normally when we're trying to constitute the right macronutrition, this covers it, right?
Yep. Exactly. Like if you look at a knife and fork meal and you compare this is going to have more nutrients inside of it than a knife and fork. I can guarantee that. but also it's going to be less calories. So depending on what your goals are, like say you have 7 meals when you were competing, I have 5 to 6 on a regular basis.
Exactly. And most PTs do as well. And the hardest thing is getting that food in at the right time. If you're coaching 3 classes back to back, in between that for 2 minutes, you can throw one of these down your mouth and go for it. Whereas you can't sit there with your Tupperware in between PT clients chomping on some cold turkey, can you?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. Let's move on.
Okay, so the reason Isagenix is also so smart is because every single product actually complements each other really well. So what I was doing before Isagenix was I was taking protein from one company, I was taking BCAAs from another company, and I was taking multivitamins from another company. And they could be potentially, I'm not saying they are, but they could be potentially opposing forces against each other, okay? So this is why it works out so well, because going back to the Isaline shake, it has what's called glutathione. Okay, so glutathione actually increases your immune system really well. So what happens when you're taking Nourish for Life, which is paired with intermittent fasting? There's a different range, a bunch of ranges of ways to do this. Okay, you're pushing out toxins out of your body. So some people believe in toxins, some people don't. Okay, I am a massive believer in toxins. I've done my research. Right? If you Google environmental toxins and look up all the studies behind it, there are heaps and heaps of studies. Okay, and you look up intermittent fasting, the world's just actually catching up to intermittent fasting. So there was Nobel Prize winning research in 2016, okay, about intermittent fasting and how it actually is increasing our health. So if you're not sold on intermittent fasting, go look up that research, Nobel Prize 2016, intermittent fasting. Anyway, it doesn't just help with with just weight loss. It helps with fat loss, which is important, okay? Intermittent fasting also increases your human growth hormones. So when you take Nourish for Life, what happens is you see these markers, okay, of anti-aging as well. It's shown that it reduces oxidative stress when you're cleansing correctly using Nourish for Life, and also when you're pairing it with intermittent fasting. So oxidative stress is what causes aging. So you ever go to an Isagenix event and you look at everyone that's taken Isagenix for probably over a year, they look radiant, okay? It's because of the Nourish for Life. I can't actually comprehend how smart all these systems are. So go next slide.
Let's talk about
Okay. So Ionic Supreme is one really, really big one with Isagenix because everyone is under stress, okay? Regardless of who you are, unless you're, I don't know, someone meditating on top of a mountain somewhere for the rest of your life, you're always going to be under some sort of stress, okay? And that person meditating on top of a mountain is probably stressed because he has no bloody money, so he can't afford something to eat. Anyway, so everyone's under stress, regardless of who you are. So your body's under stress when you work out as a PT. As a PT, you might be really, really poor, so you're under stress because you're thinking, crap, I'm just getting by to have enough money. So you are always under stress. So Ionic Supreme supports the body's functions of how to deal with stress. So we talk about adaptogens, which is a lot of the products in Isagenix. They use a lot of adaptogens. There's roughly about 12 to 13 adaptogens in the whole world, and Isagenix uses the majority of them in their products. Okay, so go look that up if you want to. So what adaptogens are? They're herbs or botanicals, and they're found in extreme climates of hot and cold weather. So they can survive in both. When you ingest them, your body can adapt essentially to whatever's thrown at them. So if you're more stressed, it's going to calm you down a little bit. Okay. If you take it in the morning and you want to get up and go, it's going to pick you up a bit. So literally it reads what your body wants and it produces that. Okay.
Love it.
So
Everyone.
Two things that I want to focus on in terms of Ionic Supreme. Sorry.
You go, mate. You go.
So 2 ingredients I really want to highlight in Ionic Supreme. So Schisandra. It increases the body's resistance to stress, okay? It increases mental and physical performance. So you're talking to a PT. If you take this before as your pre-workout, it still can work as a pre-workout, especially if you get going straight away. It picks you up, as I say. It reads your body, pushes you to where you want to go. And also, Schisandra, which is really important, reduces the body's response to cortisol. So after you do a really heavy workout, your cortisol levels have to increase. Okay, what happens is it actually doesn't increase as much when you take something such as Ionix on a regular basis. Hope you're learning some stuff, Si.
Mate, this is mind-blowing. I've got my notepad out here right now. Truth bombs everywhere.
One more thing that I want to go through in terms of the ingredients in there is, I don't know how to say it properly, actually, rhodiola root. It's called golden root as well, okay? And studies have shown it actually decreases stress-related fatigue and increases your focus. So that's why when you take Isagenix for a longer period of time, such as I have for over 4 years, my energy levels have increased and they've stayed up, okay? So that's some important ingredients in there. There's heaps more, but yeah, it's all on isagenixhealth.net or on isagenix.com. So it's all transparent as well.
Awesome. Talking of pre-workouts, let's go through the eShot.
Okay, so eShot is you can be used as a natural pick-me-up. So you can, if you don't go to the gym at all, you can use it. I use it before the gym, okay? It's a caffeinated shot with green tea and yerba mate. The reason I use that is because they're plants, okay? It's a healthier alternative to something. The one thing I see heaps in the UK is monster drinks. The no sugar monster drinks, which probably means it has aspartame, which is known to be cancerous. And I'm like, please do not drink that garbage. It's just absolutely crap. So whoever's on Monster right now, please just stop drinking it. Just have I'd even say have a shot of coffee instead, okay? But if you can, go find an eShot. It's so smart because when you take an eShot, it actually doesn't elevate your heart because it has what's called hawthorn berry on it. So when you have caffeine, your heart's meant to go up. But because Isagenix are geniuses, they put hawthorn berry in it. It relaxes your heart, reduces your heart levels, but you have that constant level of energy. It doesn't go up and you don't crash, okay? A constant level, it lasts for about 4 hours. Some people say it lasts about 8 hours, okay? But it gets me through my workouts and, you know, I bust my ass at the gym.
Yep. Okay, so what about for people who are trying to control their macronutrition? They don't particularly want a meal replacement. They want to just hit, like, you know, our equivalent of a WPI, for example.
Yeah. Okay. So whey protein isolate is WPI for the ones that don't know. So that's just Isopro. Isopro is 18 grams undenatured whey. Its absorbability is really, really high, still rich in branched chain amino acids like the Isolene Pro. But if you just want to take it, I take it after my workouts. I know I'm getting 18 grams of undenatured whey and it's absorbed. Okay. Nice and easy. Instead of having a whey protein isolate, you can take the Isopro instead. And then the Isolene bar is just, it's very similar to the Isolene shake, except it doesn't have live enzymes, but you take it up and go. It's quick, it's delicious. And one thing I forgot to say about the shakes, all 3 flavors in the UK are absolutely delicious because I've taken some absolute stinkers of shakes and some of them just are gross. Isagenix shakes, every single one, even the seasonal shakes that have come out, they are all amazing. Okay, and that's really important because I've been taking these shakes for 4.5 years.
Yep.
Is that all you need? And yeah, everything is backed by science. So go on isagenixhealth.net. It's all transparent. All their studies are transparent. Some of them, not all, but some of them are actually peer reviewed by other universities. Okay, which means that's the actual highest level of review you can do. University of Illinois, University of, I can't even remember now, but I've read all of them. They're actually really, really well planned, well made out studies. So anything, isagenixhealth.net, if not isoproduct.com.
Thank you. I mean, I'm just going to come back before we go to Claire because I just want to firstly say thank you for coming and just dropping that knowledge with us tonight, Tim. I know you've got a shoulder of lamb waiting to be devoured. And yes, this guy eats real food, as we all do. And mate, you have definitely deserved extra mint sauce, and there better be some Yorkshire puddings on that plate as well.
No, I don't. No.
Tim, thank you.
You're welcome, mate. Thanks.
Appreciate your time and love working on side by side with you. If you could, in the chat box, could you please put those links, isagenixhealth.net and the other ones, if there are people that want to check out these peer-reviewed journals, etc. Can you stick that in the chat for us, please, buddy?
Yeah.
And we're going to move swiftly.
No worries. Thanks for having me on, Si. Loved it.
Always a pleasure, mate. Hope to see you at the next event soon, Manchester in March. Which is going to bring me nicely dovetailed into our next superstar, fitness industry pro, Claire Fitzhenry. Look at that face of aggression before you're about to lay that right hand into the bag. I love that. In action. Claire, please can you tell the people on this webinar tonight a little bit about you, how you got introduced to ISA, and you just a little bit about your story.
Can you hear me okay, Si?
Yeah. Loud and clear, girl.
Perfect. Good job, Tin. Every time I listen to Tin, like, I learn something about the science. I'm not a sciencey person at all. Basically, I discovered Isagenix. I have been a personal trainer since 2012. I, similar to Si, got really caught up in really putting kind of my clients' health before my own, exchanging all of my time, giving all of my time to my clients, and really my health took a back seat. Before I started, I was really suffering with my gut health. That was the main thing for me. Really troublesome with my digestion. I was really suffering with my stress, which was obviously connected with my gut health too. And then obviously from the before photo, you can see that it had a massive impact on my weight. So I was introduced to Isagenix just over 3 years ago now, when I moved to Australia. So I'd moved to Australia really for kind of some inspiration. And I came across Kez, who introduced me to it. And so I've been incorporating the products into my lifestyle now for over 3 years. And for me, the game changer really was intermittent fasting. So for my gut health, like I said, I really always struggled. And now I just find this system so easy to really help maintain my gut health and my weight. So we talk about weight maintenance and not weight loss. Obviously, you can see that I've lost weight from my photo, but a big thing for me has been weight maintenance. And I'm also like really excited now because obviously I've moved back to the UK from Australia. I have the opportunity now to really help my family. I've started sharing with my family and my friends and some clients, and I've been able to build a residual income, which has allowed me to have some more time freedom and really not have to exchange all of those hours to find the money, really. So I'm just super excited. I love the products. I love the company. I love the community. And I'm just really excited to share it with anybody that wants to listen.
Thank you so much, Claire. And one of the things I wanted to ask you would be having that additional source of income. Does that take pressure off you working full-time in this industry? Because obviously one of the things I do realize is your income can fluctuate in fitness, right? Depending on the availability of your clients. Some weeks you're doing really well, other weeks you're down, you're up, you're down. Having that kind of like additional income that comes into your account every single week in, week out, what sort of pressure does that take off?
Oh, it's huge. Like, I've only just got started. Like, in comparison to some guys, like, I'm literally just getting started with the residual income, and I didn't really know the power of it, and I didn't really understand it. I went into Isagenix purely for my own health benefit. But the impact of the residual income, so for example, I've just been in Kuala Lumpur with Tin and Kez, and I've been able to get paid whilst I'm traveling and I'm on holiday. So for me, like, it relieves so much pressure. PTs, all we do is exchange 1 hour or half an hour for money. I spend a lot of time talking to my clients outside of my hour because I want to make sure that they get the maximum effects and results. And I spend a lot of my time invested in my clients. But to be able to take some of that pressure off now is a game changer. Yeah, massively.
Claire, it's always great to hear your story, and just like Tin, I can't wait to see you guys at the next event. Keep up the great work, keep sharing the passion and the community. And thank you ever so much for coming on a Sunday night. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Okay, let's just get stuck into Emma and Zach. Unfortunately, we're not going to get Zach with us tonight, but we do have his better half. Emma's going to be here. Emma Mondello, can you unmute yourself, please? And just give me a holler if you are here.
Yeah, well, I am his better half, clearly.
Well, we can see that coming, but you guys are pretty shredded. I mean, incredible results. The hard work that goes into competition, as you know, for what I saw experiencing it last year in physique and fitness, and you really take OCD to a next level, don't you?
I wish I could claim that, but I'd have to say that Zach claims that one. So I'm really, I'm just so excited to be on here and share this story. And for anyone that's thinking, you're not from the UK, Zach is actually Scottish. So hence why he looks so fabulous, because Scottish men are hot. But I think, well, I'll just go into a little bit about, but first, like, amazing guys, absolutely loved everything you have to say. Tin, you're a legend. Claire, you're amazing. Yeah, so thank you for having me, and obviously not Zach, he's not here at the moment, but when people ask me to share my story or Zach's story, it's kind of like, which one do you want? Do you know what I mean? Like, what story do you want? I've been in Isagenix 5 years, and that's a long time. So I'll just start from where I started, and then obviously tricked Zach into getting into it. So 5 years ago, before I started Isagenix, I just wanted gut health. I just wanted better gut health. I had been to every health professional, nutritionist, naturopath, everyone, and they were actually all recommending things that were similar to the program, but weren't actually doing what the program has actually enabled me to do. So, I was really suffering with my gut health, especially my energy levels. And I just found that I was spending a lot of money for little reward, and the things that were happening with my gut health, as soon as I would come off that program, it would completely just fall apart all over again. It got to the point where I just looked at a menu and I was just kind of like, what do I have next, kind of a thing. Like, I can't choose anything on this menu, and it really frustrated me. So, fast forward, I started Isagenix. My gut health was amazing. My energy was within the day, and it's never changed since using the program fully. And I started going to the gym for the first time before Zach. Zach and I met 3 years ago. But before Zach, I actually started going to the gym for the first time, had really great results. I had people come to me and ask me, you should do competitions. Let me train you. You should do these competitions. And which was obviously bikini competitions for me at the time. And to be honest, I saw what it had done to so many people and so many of my friends, the emotional turmoil that happened after, their metabolism and things like that. There was just some crazy stuff. And a lot of the time they'd have to wait another year before they could compete. And this wasn't everyone, but this was just a lot of what I was seeing. So, I did find out that a lot of people that were competing over East in Australia and obviously in America, a lot of them were actually using the system. So I knew it could be done. I went and I saw a heap of trainers, and I asked them to train me for a competition, and they all wouldn't take me. I came off Isagenix. So, and I can go into a little bit about that if you guys want me to later on. Just feel free to ask away, or even add me later and ask me. But when I competed, I finally found a trainer who actually was in Isagenix and knew how to use the system. Now, I utilized everything, absolutely everything. I can't speak for everyone that does competitions using Isagenix, but I did the cleanse days. I did everything, okay? And there are ways, a lot of people say, well, you can't have carbs at certain times. There are ways you can work this system in, guys, and it's so much better for your overall health. It was, I think I had 10 weeks to get ready for my first competition, and I had put on 7.5 kilos of lean muscle tissue and dropped 4% body fat. Now, the 4% body fat drop was the first 3 to 4 weeks. And then I was just maintaining and basically growing at the same time, because if I dropped any low, I'd be too low for my category. So that was my story. There's so much more to it. So feel free, if you want to ask me questions later on, you can add me. But I literally, competing is expensive as well. And along the way, I had people, when I first started this business, I actually never approached anyone. So everyone was coming up to me saying, what are you doing? And I was getting them started, and I accidentally grew a business. Okay. Then I took it seriously. I learned some skills, because you're going to have to. And, you know, I took it seriously because people were getting serious results. So I acted seriously. Competing is expensive, and all of that money that I obviously redirected into other things as helping other people as well, but I also directed into my competing. So, which was amazing, because if any of you have competed before or take supplements, you know how expensive it can be. So then I met Zach, and I met him at one of the national competitions that we had won to get there. And he basically was already sponsored by a company. I don't know if I told you guys that. He was already sponsored, doing really well. And, you know, when I met him, he had, you know, a lot of issues with sleep. And, you know, he was a professional. He was in the corporate world, basically. So he was averaging 5 to 3 hours of sleep per night, working long hours. He was also going to the gym at like 5 a.m. It was ridiculous. So the little sleep he got was broken. And I basically said to him, you know, you really got to try this system. And he was just like, what I'm doing is working for me right now. And it was, because if you can see the photo we're in together, that was him using his own, he was on Isagenix because I forced it down his throat, but he was not using the system. Okay. So he used to come to me at that time and say, can I just do a cleanse day? You know, because he was struggling with some things. I said, no, until you're ready to do the full system, bar Isagenix, then you can come to me and then we can get this show on the road. So that was him competition. He won, you know, so we're both international pros. So Zach is the Mr. Olympia champion of the world for physique. And so what I love about his story was he then went to compete in a non-natural federation as a natural athlete and still dominated, but used the system. So this time around, his comp prep was amazing. He utilized the system most weeks, and he would actually have phenomenal growth in muscle tissue and decrease in body fat at the same time. The weeks where he didn't necessarily utilize the cleanse days just to see how it went, he actually didn't progress. So and then when he go back to it, he did again. So I find that really interesting, and I really love highlighting it. It's just unfortunate that we've had some bad news last night that he's not able to jump on right now and tell you himself. So that's a little bit about us. Sorry guys for going on, but feel free to ask away.
I love your story, and you know what, the fact that yes, he got to that shape before using Isagenix. I love that, because you know, a lot of people and PTs who see the before and afters, you know, they look at that and instantly assume, oh, you're trying to sell Isagenix by saying, I look like that, I took Isagenix and now I look like this. And your story really edifies the fact that, look, this is where he was at with his current lifestyle when he was doing his own program, etc., etc. But the clear difference is by using that system, better sleep, more increased lean muscle tissue. And I love that. I really appreciate your time, Emma. You know, even though you guys have had some news this weekend and Zach can't be with us, maybe in a couple of weeks' time, if I roll another one of these webinars out, we can get him on and he can tell us his side of his story. And I think that would be really, really powerful. So thank you ever so much. Okay, let's move swiftly on. You've heard about the products, and I hope that you've taken away something from what Tin has spoken about. Now we're going to dive into the business. I'm going to spend as little time on this as possible, because I really believe that people who want to try Isagenix, the first thing you want to try them for is the products. I was talking to a guy who was a PT in a gym down in Birmingham a few months ago, and he said, I don't want to try the products. All I want to do is make money. I just want to do the business. When we had a conversation, I said, look, bro, it ain't really like that, because we want you to believe in what you're selling. We want you to believe in what you're sharing with other people, and you cannot have belief in something that you haven't tried. And so for people who are just new to Isagenix tonight, I really strongly suggest that you just think about jumping on board. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee with all our products. and our system. But let's just go into the business opportunity. And this is what blows my mind. It really does. I wish I had learned this at school. Why Isagenix as a business to be a part of? Okay, above all, these guys have been going since 2002, and they have increased every single year, and they are independently owned. No one else owns them. Okay, independently owned. They're in 13 markets, and now they're growing. We've penetrated Europe by starting in the UK, and it is set to flood into Europe over the next 3 to 5 years and go on. So now joining this vision and business is such a good time, because you're basically pioneering Europe. And if you want to have a life of travel and experiencing different parts of the world, sharing things like what could improve your business and your credibility in the industry, this is awesome. The bottom bullet point there, raised over 7.3 million to Make-A-Wish. Make-A-Wish is a charity that is just beautiful. It's about giving children who are terminally ill a wish, their dying wish, and it's a very heartfelt organisation to be a part of. And Isagenix pour, and we raise money, we do back days, and we truly make those last wishes for those children something special. And I really love the fact that Isagenix are part of Make-A-Wish, because it's about the children as well. This is simple, okay? Let's not overcomplicate it. In the 1980s, network marketing was branded pyramid selling, pyramid scheme, da-da-da-da-da. And what happened in the 1980s was people were going around and doing this incorrectly. They had wrong systems, they had the wrong approach. Now, for some strange reason, people have hereditarily taken on this damaged name of network marketing. So much to the point where tonight I was included on a group of PTs to be a part of this webinar. One guy said, "I'm not into pyramids, thanks." Now, I don't know if he just doesn't like the shape of pyramid or what that he actually meant, but I want to talk about network marketing and how now this is the most sophisticated way of earning money continuously week after week, and anyone can do it. All right, so this is you. If you can see these lines drawn on my screen, I have no idea how they're there, but we're going to roll with it. This is you. You have got started on our system. You're enjoying, you've had a good product experience, and someone says to you, "What are you doing? Why are you looking good? Why are you feeling good? What is it that you want? You're taking?" You share with two people. By sharing with them, and they start on one of our packs, you can earn up to £66 per person, just as a bonus. PIB is product introductory bonus. So Isagenix say, "Hey, thank you for sharing what we offer." One person 66, the other person 66. If that's done within Monday to Monday, they double the bonus. So if you were to share Isagenix with two people each week, you can earn up to a total of £264 every week just from bonuses. How good is that? That might take people 10 PT sessions to earn. I don't know what the going rate is down where you guys are coaching, but I know up here, I'm coaching in a CrossFit gym at the moment, part-time, and I'm getting paid £14 an hour. So it's a few hours just to earn that, just to share with two people. Also, you reach our first rank advancement, you get another £40. So there's £304. Now, I helped someone get started, and she shared with two of her friends, and they started together as a little trio. So before she had even started, she'd earned £304. It's that simple. Everyone likes to do things together. They can hold each other accountable. Now look what happens. If they share with two people the same way you did when you got started, because you've educated them that if they do want to share, this is the system they can follow, then you get £81 for the person who shared on your left and £81 for the person who shared on the right. That goes to you. That's a total of £162. And if that is done in under 2 months, Isagenix then rank advance you to our manager or crystal manager. You get another £204. So basically, if you share with two and they share with two, you can earn £670. Now, I love network marketing, and the people who understand the ease and simplicity of this and how that can trickle on and become what I can only describe as wildfire, because these products work and the business builds. Just like Emma was saying, next thing she knew, she'd accidentally built a business because girls were asking her, hey, what are you doing? She was working, she was training in that limelight of people prepping for a fitness comp. So she was around people who were doing the same thing as she was and just shared her experience. They got started, and this is what happens. As you do move up the ranks, consultant 40, there's your crystal manager, which is 2. Then the next rank is if you get 5 cycles, and then if you hit crystal director bonus. These are just bonuses, guys. This is just for hitting certain milestones as you start to build a secondary business. And then we're going to talk about when you get to crystal executive. Now that's a position that you get to where you start to build a really good base and a foundation of residual income, and each week money starts to come in. And then these are the rank advancements as you start to go through up to 3 stars. Now you can go up to 8 star. There's higher and higher where you're earning ridiculous amounts of money each week. That may be for you, that may be not for you. This is a fantastic slide that I wanted to put in there because I believe people thought tonight we were just going to put a load of before and afters in. Never ever give up, people. Before and afters all round. I want to stop this share. I want to get some pictures because this has been a fantastic webinar. On 3, I want people just to raise their hands and just give me a thumbs up so I can take some pictures. So 1, 2, 3. Let's give me some yo-yo. Yeah. That's 1 page. We've got 4 pages. Page 2. Another one here. This is just insane. I love it. We've got 3. This is crazy. And 4. Okay, so let's just come back to me a sec. Cool. So can everyone see me? Yeah, is everyone happy? Can everyone see me? Guys, it is 3 minutes to 9. We hit this in an hour. I hope that what you saw tonight in this last hour is something that you can just sit on tonight, go to sleep with, and if tomorrow morning you wake up and think, hey, if they can do it, I can. I want you to reach out to the person who contacted you to put you on this webinar and instantly get involved with what we are doing, because you will never ever look back. Tim has been using these products since 2013. Emma's been eating them for 5 years. I've just had my shake and I feel great. They work. It's simple as that. I hope you've all enjoyed tonight's webinar. I'm just going to look at the chat. What have we got here? What are we saying? Thank you. Yes, 10. Everyone's raving on about 10. Dropping some knowledge bombs there. It was brilliant. Yeah, we've got there, isoproduct.com, all these different links that you guys can go to. You can find us on social media, Facebook, add us if you need to ask any questions. We are all one team and we are here to help you all. I am Si Bennett. I'm checking out. If you want another webinar over the next few weeks with something different, please reach out and just tell us what it is that you're getting questions on, and we will do our best to serve. Claire, Emma, Tin, love you a long time. Thank you so much, guys. I'm just going to unmute everyone so everyone can just go, yeah, here we go. This could sound really bad in a minute. Here we go. All right, okay. If you want to unmute yourself and say something, here we go.
Thank you.
90 people.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tonight, and I look forward to seeing you all in Manchester in March.
Thanks, Alex. See you soon.
Peace out, legends. Cheers, Mark. Cheers, Catherine.
Bye.